Hey everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 280, recorded on November 6th, 2023. We're going to be talking all about Nintendo's newest nerfing of their tournaments, and people just want to have fun, but Nintendo's, not allowing them to as much anymore. Again, also we got information on the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Wave 6. And Eastasiasoft had an end of the year showcase and lots of other details, including a brand new Switch that's going to be launching really soon. Probably not what you're thinking it is, but we'll get into all of that in just a moment. My name is Steve, and of course, I am joined, by Barry and Greg. Barry, how you doing?
Doing great. Happy to be here and been looking forward to this.
Yeah, and Greg, how are you?
Really sorry about that. So yes, I'm glad to be back, and I didn't quite realize I was muted. So sorry, everybody.
Nice. So yeah, if you are joining us live in the chat right now, we are going live as usual every other Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific Time, and with the time change and everything, we're still on the right time, but it looks different outside. It's much more dark now than when we usually record, at least where I am. Well, actually, it's darker for you guys where you are for me. So, yeah. So it's probably dark on the West Coast as well. But thank you guys for joining us, like we said in the chat, and let us know what you've been playing throughout the evening. Also share with us what you think about all the different news that we're going to be talking about as well. We'd love to hear that in the live chat. But if you are joining us after the fact, if you're watching on YouTube, let us know in the comments. But also, if you are listening, we have a growing Discord that we'd love for you to join. So the link is on the screen, and it's also in the show notes and the YouTube description. So we'd love for you to join that Discord. But also, we have our social media as well. So you can follow us at NintendoFuse on most of the social platforms out there, and that's another way that you can let us know all of your thoughts as well. But let us know what you've been playing in the live chat, like I said, and we're going to share what we have been playing, and we're going to kick us off, kind of go in reverse than we're usually going at, and we're going to let Greg go first this time.
I guess we're not fully reversed because I guess normally Steve would then kick us off, but okay.
Well, I guess not fully. Full reverse for me.
Yeah, I guess we'll get the quicker updates out of the way before Barry dives into his 1,000 games he's been playing for every system. But so over the last 2 weeks, I was playing Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and then I actually completed it. So I'm at the full 100%. I completed the final challenge and got the final badge and everything that is associated with getting the game fully completed. So it was definitely a very great game, and I easily would compare it to like Super Mario Brothers 3 or Super Mario Brothers World, which are considered some of the best 2D platformers for Mario in general. So I had definitely had a lot of fun with it, and I know some people were kind of saying it's on the easier side, but there was still some great challenge stages in the special world as to be expected. It took like several, like either like 10, 15, 20, or even more lives to complete. So yeah, I definitely had a lot of fun with it. I really liked all the different wonder flower effects in each of the various levels and how they really changed it up, and it wasn't just like one or two and just copy pasted forward and just used like the same kind of theming. So yeah, it was a very fun game, and hopefully they kind of more open to innovation in any future 2D Mario platforming games. Like they don't have to just make it Mario Brothers Wonder 2 or anything like that, but we don't need to what happened with like a new Super Mario Brothers turned into, but just basically just taking more risks or even just kind of reusing some of the same types of gameplay stuff. Like if they brought back the badges, that would still be a step forward, and it changes up the gameplay going forward too. But yeah, it was definitely a very great game and enjoyed it. So pretty much after I was done with that, I had picked up the Might and Magic Clash of Heroes. So even though it was like a DS game a long time back, and I actually do have it on my shelf that's behind me, but I know it's been ported over to like pretty much every system known to man at this point. I think it's gone full mobile and probably also available on PlayStation and also Xbox as well. But I hadn't played it obviously pretty much since the game came out, and just kind of wanted to check out the Switch port of it, and kind of got sucked back into wanting to fully complete that one as well. It's a pretty quick game, but I'm just going through the campaign and just reliving the story again and realizing it was a pretty fun game for its time. So everything is looking out pretty good there. And then pretty much still on like the mobile devices, still doing Simpsons Tapped Out and Roblox with my daughter here and there. And probably a new entry to possibly coming in the coming weeks. She got really deep into Minecraft, so she had a friend recommend it to her, and then bought the iPad version of it, and then now she's already looking at buying the Switch version. So I don't know if I'm going to be suckered into also getting the Switch version of Minecraft as well down the line, but just a future heads up warning that it might be in my future to be playing that with her as well.
Nice. Well, the good thing is, because I mean, Roblox and Minecraft are fairly similar, right? Like, I've not played Roblox, but I thought they were like pretty similar games, right?
Well, I mean, see, like Roblox is more like a community of apps, so it's like a giant like
Oh,
app store, and then there's like hundreds of thousands of games that people can create on there, and then
okay.
essentially it's
Hmm.
a pretty much a big community hub, and then like you can customize your avatar, and that avatar goes into each of the games that are on the platform, and then pretty much there's different styles of like games. Like there's games that are like platforming games, and there's games that are kind of like that almost like the Fortnite but like super light versions because it's like on because it's like a Roblox version that somebody else developed and not like a like Epic
Okay.
Studio games.
Gotcha.
But there's all sorts of different genre of games that they have on there, whether it's like exploration or just like kind of point and click kind of style games, or even just platform games that they call obbies that
Okay.
they
I
maintain.
think I may be wrong, and let me know. Feel free to tell me in the comments or the chat as well. But I think it may have started out very similar, and then it's just evolved into what it is today. I think is what the case is because I remember when it first came out, people were comparing it all the time, but I don't
Yeah,
hear that comparison anymore, and it's probably because it's evolved into what it is now.
yeah, I think a lot of some of the blocky textures can be relatable. I mean, it's kind of similar in that sense, and there are a number of games in Roblox so where you are designing stuff very similar to Minecraft. I mean, it's not like it's a completely new concept or whatever, but it's just like a almost like a dumbed down version for Roblox because it's
Hmm,
more intended just you'd almost complete the game within whatever like 5-6 hours. It's better for like shorter
gotcha.
bursts and such, and not Tears of the Kingdom and you're playing it for 100 hours kinds of thing. So
Gotcha.
instead of diving into all the different games I play on there, I just say it's like, oh, just been playing some of the Roblox community games. I mean, I can
That makes
certainly
sense.
lengthen my list and point out each individual game that I'm playing on there with her, but I don't know how much all the users will be able to relate to quite all of them, anyways.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, that helps because I've never played Roblox, so I didn't realize it was so robust. Going to the chat, it looks like Gamer in the Clouds is playing the Outbound Ghost this weekend a bit, and also Pokemon Go. And I'm gonna scroll through and see what everybody else looks like. Blake is joining us, which is awesome. Good to see you, Blake, again. And yeah, if you haven't put in there what you've been playing, let us know, and we'll read it on the air and refer to you guys as much as we can throughout the show. Barry, what have you been up to?
Yeah, so last time I had finished Wonder, and the next game I was going to was on the PS5, which is Spider-Man 2, which is came out the same day. So I was able to finish Spider-Man 2, but I did not 100% it. I I just went through, I did the story. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed the combat. Some of it kind of got a little tedious, but I do recommend it. It was a lot of fun, and it did actually. This one gave me a little motion sickness that the first game and Miles Morales
Hmm,
didn't, just from swinging around the city. But I
hmm,
did very much enjoy it. But on the Switch side, Pokemon Unite, I'm still doing that. Still having fun with that. I did the Halloween event, which I finished. Went back to Theater of the Final Fantasy, Final Bar Line. The final DLC came out, which was Final Fantasy 16 music. It's like 11 tracks from 16. So that was good to do. And then I hadn't gotten, like, I was working on my collected cards, and I was like, I'm going to do a little more work. So I wound up playing like 60 something songs to to get like the album collector cards done and the enemy collector cards done, and now I just need like some of the characters and I think 2 of the summons to be finished. But I'll do those periodically. But it's such a great game. It's sad that the DLC's over. They've just been adding so many cool songs, and if you like rhythm games, it's a must play, especially if you like Final Fantasy. Sonic Superstars. Was planning on doing that before Mario, and I failed, so I did it after Mario, and I beat it. And I did not beat the second playthrough. I just started the second playthrough, but I don't like replaying a game right after I finish it. It's good. It's definitely a step in the right direction for Sonic. It's short, but some of the bosses just overstay their welcome, especially towards the end. And I hate bosses that don't have checkpoints. So, and with one hit kills, even if you have rings.
Mm.
So like you get right towards the end, and oh, you screwed up. Well, you have to do the whole thing again. It's tedious. It's not perfect, but it is a lot of fun, and I do recommend it. But I think Mario Wonder is definitely the superior of the two. Then I went to WarioWare Move It, which just came out, and mixed feelings on it. It's quick. I beat the story. I did not unlock all the mini games, and that's probably because I have a love-hate relationship with motion controls. When they work, they're fantastic, and when they don't work, they're frustrating. And especially in a game like WarioWare, where you do the correct action and it does not register correctly, and you fail, and it's like, but I did what I needed to do. I shouldn't have failed. And it's interesting what they did with the poses, but some of the poses actually like require you to drop the left Joy-Con and grab the right Joy-Con in your left hand for the IR sensor, and then asks you to do different motions with your right hand. But when you like, it's like, how show the number that's up there, and it's like, well, I'm doing 2, but like my knuckle is like just a little higher, and it's just a little too close, and it doesn't register. And it's like, everyone that I could see, like, I'm doing 2, but it doesn't say, so you fail. And I'm just like, it's so frustrating. Like, I get it. You're trying to use the technology, but when it doesn't work, it just leads to more
Yeah.
headaches. Because clearly I know what 2 looks like. Come on. I mean, it's. I've heard that some of the party games, one of them apparently has you. It's 2v2, and one team is playing a mini game, and the other team has to guess which one of the 2 people is actually playing the mini game. And I'm like, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. So when I have friends over, I might bring it out for that. But in terms of single player, it's quick, it's short. I'll probably bring it back out for my son as well when he gets old enough. I think it might be a fun title with that. But I don't regret playing it. I did have fun with it. I just feel it could be better. Speaking of could be better, one of the things we're going to talk about on the NSO, the one Castlevania game that was not part of the Anniversary Collection because it's no longer canon made its way there, which is Castlevania Legends. Never played it, so I'm like, oh, I'll play it. And it sure is a Game Boy Castlevania game, I'll say that. With full down, slow down, and walking through doors takes forever, and it's boring. And I finally beat the first level, and I'm like, I think I'm done. I got the experience. I don't feel compelled to keep going with this title,
Yep.
which is a shame because it's the third game in the Game Boy series, and the first game is really rough, and the second game is significantly better. And I never played the third game, and I expected it to be a step up, and instead it feels like a step backwards. But so it exists. I'm glad that it's there. I'm glad people can play it. I probably won't go back. And then the final game on the Switch that I am still in the middle of playing and very much enjoying, which is Star Ocean's second story R, which is the remake of the remake of the original on the PlayStation 1. Fully remade, beautiful graphics, a lot of quality of life improvements, significantly easier than the first game, by like a large margin. The first game doesn't show you where to go. You have to figure it out, and the all the different like private actions you have to guess. This game tells you, hey, there's a private action in this town. It'll show you on the map where to go. It's significantly more user friendly, and I'm loving the story, especially after playing the original, watching the anime, and then playing this. It's cool to see how they transitioned it in this remake. I've heard that the end gets a little tough, But I'm gonna see how far I go, but I hope to beat it because the anime does not end, which is annoying too, because it's been so many years since I've played the game, so that doing the anime was like, oh, it's a refresher, and the anime is like, oh, yeah, this is happening, and I'm like, there's no more episodes. What? Why did this never finish? So I do recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm hooked. So I definitely plan to finish that. And then the PC, Final Fantasy 14 got another update, 6.51, new content, finished the story. Just the game just keeps giving. They did the fan festival, a lot of you know popularity with it right now, and just some really cool stuff. And the Fall Guys event started. So I've been playing Fall Guys via Final Fantasy 14, which works amazingly well. Like it plays better than Fall Guys, like proper. Uh, so if you enjoy Fall Guys and you haven't played 14, it's part of the Golden Saucer, so it's free. It's part of the free trial. You might enjoy this. It's a lot of fun, and the rewards are cool. So I've been spending a lot of time with that. And then mobile, Nintendo may want me to stop, but I'm not stopping. Mario Kart 2, I'm still playing. Nintendo be damned.
Nice. Yeah, I stopped a long time ago. But let's look at the chat real quick before I share mine. Blake shared that he's been playing Mario Wonder, mostly on a Switch, and then along with some Minecraft with the kids. See, Blake can tell you all about Minecraft with the kids there, Greg. And then went back and finished Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on PS5 and just started Spider-Man 2 this past weekend. Yeah, so keep letting us know what you've been playing in the chat. I've been playing some Super Mario Brothers Wonder as well, because I was only about, I think, World 3 as of our last podcast. So I went ahead and finished the game. I am not 100% like these guys, but I did go ahead and finish the game. And then I think I got to the special levels, not in any sort of order. I think I got to one of the more difficult ones first and died very, very quickly, and was like, oh, here's where the difficulty is. Not in the necessarily the regular levels. Like most of the time I'm dying in the regular game, it was because of my own stupidity and forgetting to hit a button or just making a dumb decision. I think I maybe died like maybe 20 times in the whole game until I got to the special levels. I was like, oh, nope, this is going to take some dying over and over again to get these done. But yeah, I think I enjoyed it. My opinion has not changed since our last podcast, but really enjoyed that. And then I played some Ebenezer and the Invisible World, which is a Metroidvania. Well, they claim it's a Metroidvania type game that stars Ebenezer Scrooge, and it's based on the Christmas Carol and some kind of sequel to the Christmas Carol. So he goes ahead and, the regular story that everybody knows, and then they visit him, I think about a year later, and say, hey, someone else is basically doing the same thing you were doing, but a lot worse, and we need your help. And so he goes this side-scrolling Castlevania Metroid style game, and it's not as good as Castlevania or Metroid, and it's really awkward and weird. And apparently, this changed guy is still going through the streets and knocking over. I can knock over snowmen and just hit random things and cause a ruckus in town. But he's supposed to be changed now because he's Ebenezer Scrooge. But I can just do stuff and it's I'm not enjoying it. It's kind of like what you played with Castlevania Legends, Barry. Like I tried like the first like 15 minutes and I was like, I'm done. I played enough to know that this is not going to be enjoyable moving forward. But it's a pretty game, but it's slow at times, like loading. It hesitates at like the animation kind of stutters sometimes and things like that are just like, oh man, like they put some push behind this, but it's not quite ready, I don't think. Also played some more Tears of the Kingdom as well, and I'm just at the Fire Temple, so that's kind of my progress right now. So I'm like slowly making my way over there. Cooked a bunch of food because I ate a bunch of food like the last time, and I finally got enough rupees to actually buy my first my first tunic that like does something special. So because I was like, there's no way I'm making enough food to keep me fireproof the entire time, and so I just went ahead and bought that one. So I just cashed
Oh,
in
you
some of
need it.
my like there'd be no way if I could have loaded up my entire bag full of elixir or something like that, but like that wouldn't have been fun. So I went ahead and cashed in some of my I don't know, rupee or topaz or something like that, and sold enough to get enough to buy it. So yeah, that's where I am with Tears in the Kingdom, and playing some Rocket League and some Pokemon Go, and just kind of a side thing for Rocket League. They just announced that Lightning McQueen is coming to the game. So maybe they're trying to make up for all their stupid decisions recently with taking out trading and other things that they've annoyed the community with, and they're bringing in Lightning McQueen as a playable car. So I don't know how people are going to respond to it. Probably not well, but
I have a question about that Ebenezer game. Is
yeah.
there platforming at all?
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
how?
But
He's an
it's
old man.
right.
Like, can you
No,
fall and hurt your back? And
he is a younger Scrooge in this game. Like he's probably, I'd put him, he's animated, so I'd put him somewhere around 55 or so. He looks like 55 in this game. But yeah, he's jumping about 10, 15 feet in the air every time you jump to. Like he's getting a good solid
wow,
story, of a building. So yeah, he's spry for an old guy.
that must hurt those knees when he lands.
I know. It's such a weird direction to go. Like I was so intrigued, and they contacted me and gave me a code for it, so I went ahead and tried it. So grateful for the code, but yeah, it's not exactly where I thought it would be. I don't know what I thought about it, but yeah, it didn't hit any sort of expectations. And
Are you gonna
then
play Lightning McQueen now? Is what I want to know.
oh, well, I'll probably play it. Yeah, like Psyonix has been giving me codes for
Oh,
stuff
nice.
recently too, so that's been nice. So I get to try out the new stuff. So if they do give it to me, then I'll play it. I probably won't go out of my way to get it, and pay for it. But if they want to give
Are
it to me free, that'd be great.
are they gonna add Mater as well? Because I mean, come on, that would be hilarious.
It would be really hilarious. Yeah, probably not, but
Larry the Cable Guy has to do the
yeah,
voice and everything.
yeah. And then I don't know if I mentioned, but I've been playing Pokemon Go quite a bit. Again, so yeah, booting that up all the time and catching more Pokemon and just making my way through the Pokedex. So that's what we've been playing. Again, let us know what you've been playing after the fact as well. We'd love to hear what you've been playing, but also what you think of the games that you have been trying out as well. So we're going to get into our news discussion as usual. We got a few different stories that we're going to hit tonight on this episode. And to kick us off, Greg, tell us what Nintendo's been doing with their tournament stuff lately.
Yeah, so I recently was recommended like a video from actually Hungry Box, a famous Smash Brothers player that's been in a number of tournaments over the years and everything. So I was kind of taken back when I found out that Nintendo had actually posted some official community tournament guidelines. So as you can see here, they like they publicized this on October 24th, and it's going to be going into effect on just pretty much the next week here, like on November 15th. So pretty much this is for more like smaller gatherings that are not like to be affiliated with Nintendo, and it has a bunch of different guidelines. So they like don't want like people to be generating all this profit off of the use of Nintendo IP. They're even like limiting the number of participants from like 200 for like in-person events or 300 for online events, which that seems kind of silly that if it's an online event there you only get 100 extra people. Then further down, like they have like stuff you're not supposed to have like a charge more than $20 per person because they're trying not to incentivize this to have like a large community prize. So like pretty much the prize cannot exceed like $5,000, and there's like you can't like win more than like $10,000 over the course of like a calendar year. And so there's like all these different guidelines that they're really illustrating to try to crack down on some of the different tournaments that many people like run. So I know the Smash community is definitely has like ongoing events, and some of them are more publicized than others, like Evo and other things like that. And there's been situations going on there with like Nintendo trying to shut them down and using like modified versions of the game. So even that's included in the guidelines here that you cannot use any modified versions of the game. They have to be played on like the original console, or like if it is on Switch, then it's fine to play it through like their official servers and apps. So they don't want you to like, even though they took down the Wii U and 3DS eShops, like you're supposed like that means you pretty much can't use those online functionalities for those games because the servers are not up and running, and that you're supposed to use official Nintendo servers when applicable, especially for like Switch games like Ultimate and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of reading going through here and all these different guidelines. I don't know if there's anything, if you guys like really reviewed any of the specific guidelines or have anything to jump in before, unless you just want me to continue like kind of outlining even more of the line by line stuff that's in here, because it's essentially they don't want anyone using their IP and not to profit off of it, and don't want any signage, and you have to say it's not affiliated with Nintendo. You have to like go through like a license procedure to like get a license for the tournament. There's like all these different like hoops and stuff that you have to jump through if you're looking to organize an actual tournament for a Nintendo IP game.
Yeah. I think my biggest thoughts really are like I understand when it comes to like using their IP and their trademarks and stuff like that. Making sure that people are aware that these tournaments are not officially licensed or not officially sanctioned by Nintendo or whatever, that sort of thing. Because they don't want to be associated with something that they're not actually actively putting on themselves. I get that. I understand that. That totally makes sense. But I don't know. Like, I'm not too aware of like all the different rules that other companies have for their gaming tournaments and stuff like that. And so maybe you guys are more aware of that. So I'm just speaking mostly from ignorance, but it seems a little bit like Nintendo likes to do this. We've seen it happen before, but it seems like they're pushing a little too much in the wrong direction. Like why put all this emphasis on people that are just trying to have a lot of fun and use their games and have some fun and do stuff like that? Why put limits on how many people can be there and what the prizes can be like and what specific games you can use and all those different things? It seems like they're overstepping, in my opinion. But maybe Barry or Greg, like maybe you guys know more about what other tournaments and other game companies do, and maybe this isn't so crazy. I don't know. Barry, do you know anything?
I'm not big into the tournament scene, but as far as I'm aware, they don't really do anything. And like you, I get it where Nintendo may not want to be associated. Like if a tournament goes awry and someone like, oh, they cheated me out, they were supposed to pay, and like we had nothing to do with that. And I can see them stating like you have to put unofficial, like, you have to make it publicly known, unofficial, that we have no affiliation with this. That I would have zero problem with. But Nintendo seems to lack the understanding about publicity, especially free publicity. They did this before with YouTube, where they had the whole YouTube content creators thing that they've since loosened their grips on. But when that came out, that was asinine. I know YouTubers stopped covering Nintendo games. I'm like, why Nintendo? Why? They are giving you publicity. If they make $10, $20, $100 on the video, fine. You put a commercial on TV. You know who's making money? The people who film the commercial, the networks that air the commercial. You're paying for that. So look at this as just advertisement that you didn't have to actually make. Period. End discussion. Tournaments are the same thing. If you're gonna have a Smash tournament and someone wants to enter, they're going to need to practice, meaning they're going to need the game. And if someone's not very good but just wants to go and watch, could we say, wow, that was fun, I actually want to buy the game now and play? um, it's advertising, it's keeping the IP in your name of the like in the social sphere, so to speak. People are talking about a Smash Brothers tournament or a Mario Kart tournament coming on. They're saying the name of your game. That keeps it on their brain. That's what you want your consumers to do. So making tournaments less user friendly is the polar opposite of that. But
Mm,
that's Nintendo. They're going to take something that works in their benefit and they're just going to shit all over it
mm,
for no reason.
mm.
Like unless there was like an incident that caused this or prompted this, but I'm not aware of any tournament gone awry. So all they're doing is they're alienating their most die-hard of die-hard fans, and that's that's your repeat customers.
Yeah.
That's your bread. Any business repeat customers bread and butter. You do not alienate them. Just do something simple. Make whatever tournament you want. Do whatever you want. You're making money off our game. Nintendo has problems with that, but they need to stop because they're advertising. It's the same thing. They are making money and you are paying them without actually paying them to advertise your game for you. And just say, look, all we want is that you say it's unofficial, that we are not affiliated with this.
Yep.
Fine. That's reasonable.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And Blake's agreeing with us as well in the chat. Yeah, I think that's you hit on something really really important. There is the majority of the fans are going to be entering these small tournaments, like Evo and stuff like those big tournaments are going to be huge, and maybe Nintendo wants a little more control over theirs. I don't really think they should be reaching that far in those things as well, but that's another topic. But for these are the ones that just the average gamer who enjoys Smash or whatever, these are the ones that they're going to enter. They're going to enter those ones that are a couple hundred participants in their local bar or their local arcade or whatever. And those are the ones that they're going to be throwing and putting together and entering and that sort of thing. And that's the people Nintendo is basically saying, no, we're gonna have so much control on those things too. Just seems a little crazy. Greg, you did a lot of research, so anything that we're missing that we're not sure that maybe we're just ignorant about?
I mean, it seems like you guys covered like that stuff like on the head. I mean, I didn't really see any other companies really doing this, and to me, this really seems to target like specifically Super Smash Brothers Melee, because I know Nintendo wishes that people wouldn't play that game anymore. I mean, during COVID we covered like those online tournaments and how they wanted to like add that like even like that Slippy modifier on there, so then you're able to play Melee online. And here's Nintendo saying like, oh, by the way, you can't use any modified versions of our game. That's considered pirating, and like it has to be played on the original console, so you can't like emulate it anymore. I mean, I understand that they are very anti-emulation and very protective of their IP, but this almost feels like it's like going a step in the wrong direction. It's not really saying like, oh, we welcome community and we're want people to enjoy playing our games and be able to play them competitively. It's just kind of like they're just trying to add restrictions where there doesn't need to be so many restrictions. I mean, just for like sheer like tournament size, like why do they care? Like it, why do they care if it's 200 versus like 1,000 people want to play? I mean, that is encouraging people to gather to play one of your games. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense, especially for a game like Smash Brothers. That's essentially like a perfect tournament style game where you can have all sorts of people that are have different types of characters that they're good at and all come together and play. And instead you're making everything a lot more difficult and it has to be like smaller events, and you're like trying to impose restrictions where even the cost of like the of admission might not even cover the cost of running like the venue. Because I mean, they are trying to say you can't make a profit off of it, but then again, you can't overcharge for people to be in attendance, especially if they're not if they're just not even playing, they're just being viewing it. So it's that doesn't seem to sit right, because in an age where everything is getting more and more expensive, I mean, you're saying you're to book a room at like a conference room at a hotel or whatever, one of those venues, and then try to have a tournament there, then you're trying to recoup some of the like at least majority of the costs, at least to make sure that you're like covered and not just going in the hole just for having a tournament. And they're making it even like harder to do that because it's like these restrictions are in place that you can't charge whatever more than $20 a person, but then it's essentially all the costs and everything could add up past that. And some of the other stuff that stood out in there is they're not allowing you to sell any merchandise and also not allowing you to offer any beverages or like any like food. So you can't even have water to keep the players hydrated or anything like that because they don't want you selling food and water at the venue either. So like that's completely bogus as well because it's like
Wow.
people are going to at least need water. I mean, I understand the liquor stuff that touches a very different subject because you need like licensing and all
Sure.
sorts of other stuff with that, but like to like not even allow like water, like what the heck?
That's crazy. Yeah, because I imagine, yeah, like they don't want people to don't sell shirts with the name Mario Kart on there if you haven't licensed it from us or something. That's okay, I get that. But like you said, like drinks for people to just be hydrated, like, like why can't you do that sort of thing?
I hear that if the facility that you're using actually has bathrooms and a water fountain, they will send agents with clubs there to purposely destroy them because you're not allowed to do that. No, that's too many amenities.
So this
Yeah,
is
it's just like an
crazy.
instance
Yeah.
of too much control and like it. I don't think they really need to dive into all these guidelines. I mean, just as what Barry said, it just like, oh, we're not affiliated with Nintendo. It should be one of the main things to go there. But then even if you're like applying for like a license for your own smaller tournament, they have the right to just shut it down without reason. If you
Mm.
invite some sort of player that has like a horrible like history or does like some inhumane things, and they could just shut down the entire tournament. Like
Mm.
they understand it's so like safeguarded and everything like that that they can just shut it down without reason and not
Mm.
like have to tell you why it was they're not granting a license for your tournament.
Yeah, this is definitely a crazy story, and Blake's actually that's an interesting question. He's asking in the chat how does Nintendo actually enforce these rules, other than what Barry said, you know, sending the FBI to your tournament. I have no idea how they're going to do this, and it's probably going to be one of those things that like you could probably sneak by and do your own thing until someone reports you, and then they'll fine you afterwards. Is probably what it's going to be. But yeah, it's just crazy. I would love to know if any of you guys that are listening are affected by this, impacted by this. Maybe you run small tournaments on a regular basis with Smash Brothers or whatever, and this is going to impact you. We would love to know some actual, feedback from people that are directly affected by this and impacted by this. We would love to hear that. Yeah, Nintendo ninjas are going to come after you. So. Well, let's move on, I think, to a happier topic because just the other day we found out that the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Packs Wave 6 is going to be coming out on November 9th. So just a couple days away, we are going to be receiving the rest of all of the extras, the DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and we're just going to run through the list of what we're going to see in that Wave 6 pass, and then kind of discuss, you know, some of the highlights a little bit and what we're looking forward to. So as of now, we've gotten 6 different extra cups, lots of different courses brought back from old games, some from tour, and all that sort of thing. I think I said 6, but it's like 2, 4, 6, 8. 10, I don't know. I've lost count how many extra things are added to this game. It's like 3 games in a row in a whole thing. But in the Acorn Cup, we're going to be getting Rome Avanti from Mario Kart Tour. We're going to be getting DK Mountain from the GameCube Double Dash. We're going to be getting Daisy Circuit from Mario Kart Wii and Piranha Plant Cove from Mario Kart Tour. And then in Spiny Cup, we're going to be getting the Madrid Drive. Yeah, that's right, from Mario Kart Tour. Rosalina's Ice World from 3DS. Bowser's Castle 3 from the SNES, and Rainbow Road from the Wii. And we're also getting new characters. So we're getting 3 new characters: Diddy Kong, Pauline, and Peachette, which we've talked about in a previous episode, how weird that is. And then also, players are going to be receiving 16 additional Mii racing suits with a bonus Daisy racing suit obtainable by scanning any Daisy amiibo. And then they're also adding a music player, which will allow all of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe music to be played from all the different courses, similar to Smash Brothers Ultimate, where you can have a music player with all the different stuff, and you can now do that in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So lots of different stuff. I mean, this really, we've talked about before, could be just called Mario Kart 8 Ultimate. And hopefully they continue to do something like this. We're not sure where they're going to go in the future, but seeing all the different courses and all the different things that are going to be involved, some surprises there as well. Greg, any thoughts on this Wave 6 pack?
It was definitely arriving a little bit sooner than I thought, because I was almost expecting it to be in December. But obviously, the timeline makes perfect sense, because I know we usually do like the holiday buying guide around this time of year, and it just makes sense that they're bringing back they're everyone's favorite Mario Kart 8 bundle for Black Friday. So definitely a good selection of courses and everything here, and I'm glad that they added like a lot more racers and everything too. I was just kind of sad that they didn't start adding racers until like the fourth or fifth part of the update. But I'm kind of glad to see everything's all completed, and they will hopefully be able to start working on Mario Kart 9, or maybe they're saving the ultimate name for Mario Kart Ultimate or something instead, or Ultimate Mario Kart. I don't know, but yeah, this seems like it's a very good deal just for whatever. $25 for all these courses for 6 waves of courses, and it just definitely can't wait to check out some of them in the next week here.
Nice. Greg, do you have any favorite courses that you're looking forward to going for?
Let's see. Definitely the tour courses. I didn't really play a lot of those during the tour stint. Like the only one I actually played like when it was live was at the Christmas one, which was in the last wave. But definitely excited to see the DK Mountain. That was one of my favorite GameCube ones. So I think they had that one was also in like 7 or maybe was 6 or something like that when they were initially redoing courses in Mario Kart games. But just glad to see that one's back in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and also another version of Rainbow Road is always nice to have as well too. So I don't know if that concludes all the Rainbow Road courses now being in 8 Deluxe, but if not, it's pretty close now, I think.
Yeah. Like we almost have, it's kind of like with Smash, it's like everyone's here. I think it's like almost all of the courses are here. Almost all the characters are here. We're really close. Barry, what do you think about this last update?
I'm happy with it. I would have preferred to have all the Rainbow Roads be there, so it's kind of sad that they got so close but didn't make it. And there's one tour course as well that is locked into tour that did not actually make it in here, and I think that's kind of sad, especially with them ending like new support. So hopefully Mario Kart 10 brings it over. But no, it's a good selection overall. I think there's way more value with the whole bundle as a whole. Just what it did to Mario Kart 8 is insane. Um, I'm happy with the characters, although I wanted Dixie instead of Peachette for sure. But beggars can't be choosers. I like the fact that they actually went above and beyond with the additional Mii racing suits, and even the Daisy racing suit and the music player. Mario Kart 8 just Mario Kart in general has some great music. So the ability to just listen to that, yeah, it's a nice bonus. It's going above and beyond. But because this is coming out so soon, it just makes the Mario Kart 8 physical in Japan that had Wave 1 to 5 that much more insulting, because they could have just waited like 2 more weeks and had the whole thing complete on Kart, which would have made sense. But instead, it felt lazy. And I was like, well, maybe we'll get one in the U.S., but I highly doubt it. So it's Japanese only, and still does not contain 1 to 6, just 1 to 5 physical. And 2 weeks, guys, 2 weeks. You could have waited. Come on.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I love what they've been doing with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I mean, there's some times where Nintendo's just really doing a really good job, and then sometimes where it's like, how did you miss this? Like, did you guys talk about this internally and realize that you're gonna miss the last pack just by that much? Like, what is going on here? But yeah, overall, what they've done with this booster course pass is just really great. And like Greg said, you can get this for like the full game plus the DLC is like basically $85 in the US and 113 in Canada. But if you just want to get the DLC, if you already own it, $25 or $33 in Canada. Or if you are a My Nintendo member with the expansion pass, it's included in there, which is how I get it. Great deal if you have been thinking about doing this and you're not really sure. That's a great time to jump in. It's almost like, I don't know, is it like 3 Mario Kart games in one at this
Pretty
point?
much.
It's a ton, at least 2 Mario Kart games in one, and so much new content, so much repurposed content, and I think it's always so much fun to see these older courses. One of my favorite courses is the Bowser Castle from SNES. How they've redone it. I was not a huge fan originally, but the remake of that course is so cool to see, and how they've made it in 3 dimensions and everything. So and Wii Rainbow Road is one of my favorites. It's hectic, it's crazy, and it's just really good Rainbow Road racing. And I know Barry's excited that now we get to play more of the tour courses as well.
It just sucks though. We only get like the standards and like the reverse versions of these, because Tour has the trick courses, and like Bowser Castle 3 trick course has like one section where it's just like 20, like it was something like Mario Maker, where like there's 20 ramps just like in a row, and they're like all on top of each other. It's like bunny hopping, and it's fun. It's just fun to play. And I love the idea of trick courses where they have extra ramps and extra jumps, and it changes the layout. And it sucks that it's locked into Tour. Like that version is not over in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I know it feels like, aren't you happy with what we're getting? And it is. I am, but there's so much more. Like, I feel like, I hope they look at Tour and what they did, and they start adding trick courses to every course going forward, because it changes it up enough. And if you've never played Mario Kart Tour, take it for a spin and try just trick courses. Just see what they're like, because you can just pick whatever course you want to play, and you'll see the difference. It's significant.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, they might be saving that for Mario Kart 9, because I don't know. I mean, the main thing, like with all of these, is like it definitely seems they kind of underutilized like the anti-gravity mechanic and quite a number of them. Like I don't even think it's like active on some of the courses. But I understand that's probably just mostly the port coming from Tour and stuff, and Tour didn't really have anti-gravity as like the main selling point of it or whatever. But and even I think I've seen other people comment saying like the visuals don't even seem to be quite up to snuff as to how like the original 32 courses are on the actual disc. And I understand that's probably just more the ease of just porting that stuff over, because it's a lot faster and cheaper just to do it that way than to try to redo it from the ground up and all that kind of stuff too. Because I believe that's how they previously handled all of the retro style courses, and even the latest ones is just basically just starting it from ground up and designing it that way. But I mean, obviously, for what it's worth, I mean, that's tons of content for that amount of money, and it's definitely worth it. It's lots of extra playtime added in. There's lots more flexibility for online matches and stuff. It definitely greatly enhances the game that's been essentially a Switch launch title. So, as they always say, I guess it's always better late than never, but hopefully we don't have to wait that long for the next Mario Kart game on the next Switch or whatever the new system's going to be. And hopefully they take a note and they can just add in additional courses with DLC and keep it fresh and current and everything.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see where they go with the next game on Switch 2 or Switch Pro or whatever that ends up being called. And Barry, like you mentioned this in the chat, you're thinking they're going to go 10, huh? That Mario Kart Tour is officially a full Mario Kart 9, and then they're going to jump to 10. Yeah,
has to be, because first off, I mean, you even see in this, it's like, Wii dash whatever, 3DS dash
sure.
Tour dash. So it's counted amongst that. And if you like, Tour has something like 500 tracks. Like, Tour is it's the biggest Mario Kart game in terms of content. So like Mario Kart Live, I understand not counting because that was just like a side game. But Tour, since there's original tracks there's enough original tracks and remix tracks for a full game just on that alone without even the classic tracks.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
because these games are coming over and it's like from Mario Kart Tour, they're counting it. It's made by Nintendo. It's not the Mario Kart GP arcade games, which are made by Namco. So I would be shocked if they didn't count it as Mario Kart 10 or Mario Kart 9. And it's not called 9, but Mario Kart 64 wasn't called Mario Kart 2, and the Super Circuit wasn't called Mario Kart 3. It was only 7 and 8 that were numbered.
Yep. Yeah, it would be really cool though to eventually see the Grand Prix stuff and all the arcade and everything like that brought in there as well. Maybe that's what's coming to the next one, because those are fun games.
Because even like the Cruisin' series has done that too. Like on the Switch, like the Cruisin' Blast or whatever it is. Like they have like the actual arcade levels on there they can play. So that would be another great way to incorporate those into a feature Mario Kart game.
Yeah. Cruisin' Blast is one of those that's like a lot of Sega titles where it's a Nintendo title, but you only see their name on the title screen. Like they don't advertise it. It's just like it's our game. We didn't make it. It's our IP, but other people handled it, but we get money from it. Just like if you look at like Panzer Dragoon's remake, like Sega appears only on the title screen. That's it. Like just on the bottom in the copyright. House of the Dead remake, the same thing. Like Sega had nothing to do with those, but it's their IP. They own it. So it's interesting that Cruisin' is a Nintendo IP that like, and Cruisin' Blast is amazing, but like Nintendo's like, oh no, they took care of it. We didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll definitely be hopping on there November 9th. That's just a couple days away. Like I said, we're recording this on November 6th, so just a couple days before we can have some fun with some new Mario Kart courses. Well, new remakes and all that stuff. And you can play as Peachette, Barry. How exciting is that?
Bowsette or bust.
Nice. Well, speaking of some, crazy things like that, Eastasiasoft had another showcase, and they showed off some interesting games, as Eastasiasoft normally does. So, Barry, tell us all about that.
I think I've gained a new love and appreciation for their showcases now, because every time I watch it, all I think in my back of my head is, what is Steve thinking? As each game is shown. Like, oh, Steve would have no problem with that. Oh, Steve would probably like that. Oh, Steve's probably not liking this one.
Oh,
so
boy.
It's become a new fun way to watch it. And if you're listening, I hope you watch these showcases. They're short. They're like 10 minutes, but Steve might even play the whole thing while we talk. But I hope you watch and think, what would Steve like? It's a whole brand new game. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. What did they show off? They showed off 12 titles. All of them will be coming to the Switch. They had this showcase on October 30th, and they do showcases based on time period. So these are all for the end of the year. So they started off with Excessive Trim, which comes out November 8th, which is a pseudo 3D vertical scrolling slice 'em up, presented in stark black, white, and red 3-tone pixel art. Looks really cool. Just like your giant buzzsaw just going through. It's really cool. Then we definitely have Steve's game of the show. I can tell you this. Burning Secrets, a Barra visual novel. It's a high fantasy adventure visual novel. Definitely with elements that Steve absolutely finds riveting. So I think Eastasiasoft, if you're listening, Steve needs a review code for this immediately. Then we have Lily in Puzzle World. That's coming November 15th. Which is a 2D platformer filled with single screen challenges. We have Tetris on November 22nd. Yes, it's a form of Tetris. It's a block arranging puzzle game in which players fit various shapes into empty squares on the puzzle board. We have The Traveler's Path, which is a 3D spin on tile-based positional puzzles. Looks really interesting, and how they do this. We've got Hellwell. That's coming December 13th. It's a top-down tower defense survival game. We've got a sequel coming here, Rava and the Phantom Library, December 20th. It's a sequel to a previous Rava game. It's a retro side-scrolling platformer. And we actually covered the first one. I believe, Greg, you and I did a game chat on it, so you should definitely check that out. But it is getting a sequel. Synthetic Lover on December 22nd is a sci-fi visual novel about an individual who discovers the challenges of being human. I actually like when stories do that whole, I'm a robot and now I'm suddenly human, or, what does it mean to be human? Makes you really ask questions. Shivering Stone is coming January 5th. It's an environmental sliding puzzle game. Almost like those ice puzzles in Zelda that most people hate. Well, there's a whole game on it. So if you liked them, this is perfect for you. We got Icarus and the Prince of Sin, January 10th. It's a yaoi-themed fantasy adventure visual novel. This might be Steve's second favorite game being shown off. We've got Saga of the Moon Priestess, which is a retro top-down action adventure inspired by 8-bit and 16-bit classics, aka The Legend of Zelda. And finally, it ended with Dead End City, which is coming early 2024, which is a post-apocalyptic vertical shooter. So that's what they showed off. Did you guys both get to watch this? And what were your thoughts? I'll go to Greg first, since I'll let Steve marinate a little bit on this.
Can't wait to hear some of Steve's thoughts, because I know he's always got some things to say about some of the games they always manage to slip in these showcases. Unfortunately, I didn't watch like the full showcase live or whatever when it happened, but I did like go back after the fact and look through it. Obviously, not every game is going to be like a home run or like a must purchase every time like they do these showcases, but I did pull out a few that did look interesting to me. So like the Traveler's Path and also like the Saga of the Moon Priestess. Those two like at least stood out the most to me, that I wouldn't mind like a review code or whatever to check out at some point down the line. But yeah, it was still great to see such a variety of games as well too. There's not just one like theme and like they're all like RPGs or whatever. That there's plenty of other stuff going on here. There's puzzle games and platformers and even the graphic novels and other stuff like that. So they definitely showed off a variety of titles, and it was just great to see some more or some games coming up to be released on Switch over the next few months here.
And what about you, Steve? Tell us your favorites.
I'm just waiting for the Bowsette game to be published by Eastasiasoft. It's gonna happen at some point. People are they're gonna make some mobile version and port it over to Switch, and Eastasiasoft is gonna get it published, and it's gonna be non-licensed, but it'll be your Bowsette game. I guarantee it. Yeah.
Burning secret. How's that?
Yeah, this I wasn't. I mean, aside from the games that are just like pushing the envelope in directions that I'm not a big fan of. There's other games like Rava that I think are great games. This one didn't look as good as the last Rava game, and some of the other games that I thought was like, oh, that sounds interesting, and then I see it and I go, oh, it looks like a ported mobile game. A lot of times, and I know a lot of times the games that Eastasiasoft do bring over, like that is what they are. They're getting those people's games on consoles, which is fine. But it seemed like a lot of those were of that caliber this time around, and so even the games that were more of my style, like some platformers and some stuff like that, it didn't seem like it had the polish that I was hoping that it would. But of the ones that that they showed off, Rava sounded really interesting. I I was slightly interested in Icarus until they continued to talk about the game. But like the very beginning, I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then Cetrus, I thought was it's an interesting concept. It almost matches up with what the original game of Tetris really was, when you just had the pieces and you put them on a piece of on a table and play Tetris that way before they made it a video game. And so that seems interesting. And it's always intriguing to me when you can just take a game title like Tetris and make a game called Cetris. Like, can I make a game that's very similar and call it Vetris? Like, is that possible? I guess it is. I don't know. Maybe I should be, swiping some code and making some, a little extra cash on the other side, launching Vetris. Don't steal my ideas, listeners. Like it's my game. Vetris belongs to me.
Well, there was already V Tetris on the Virtual Boy, so that's pretty close.
There we go. So,
and just make sure not to go after any Nintendo IP, because I know there's like Mario Kart in Japan where they did like the real life go-karting stuff, and Nintendo had to send them a cease and desist. So definitely a word of warning: if you're going to be playing on Nintendo's IP, you might be getting some ninjas sent your way.
It's true. I'll say as well, Traveler's Path did look interesting, but I was like, oh, this looks really cool, and it's a puzzle slider thing. Like, it's not. It was like I was getting excited, and then I found out what it really was, and was like, oh, it's not as cool as I thought it was going to be. So I think that was kind of my experience with the showcase so far. Not poo-pooing like everything they showed off. It was fine, but nothing really excited me.
I feel that. I think for me, Saga and the Moon Priestess was definitely my game of the show. That one I'm really excited for, and Cetris. It reminds me of 3D Tetris on the Virtual Boy, which was that. It was like going down the well, and you had to fill the whole square. And it was really a cool way to do it. So I'm interested to see how it plays out. That's really one of those that could be good depending on how challenging it is. Excessive trim also kind of looked interesting. Just like here you are with the buzzsaw, and Icarus could have some fun stuff. I like the little RPG combat, so it could be fun. But I definitely feel like, for me, like if I had to pick one game, it's definitely going to be Saga of the Moon Priestess as a Zelda lover.
Yeah, it definitely it stood out as well, for sure. So it'd be one of those games that I need to see a little more about. But from what I've seen, I'm like, yeah, this looks like it could be fun, for sure. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this news section of our main discussion, but we're not done yet. Of course, we've got lots of different headlines we're going to go through in just a bit, just to remind you of what's going on in the Nintendo world and a little beyond that as well. Before we head into those headlines, a reminder to follow us on social media and also join our Discord. Those links are going to be in the show notes and the YouTube description as well. And also, if you have never subscribed, just encourage you subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or here on YouTube as well, and share this with someone else who might also enjoy Nintendo news and discussion and all that sort of thing. But let's jump into our headlines, and kicking us off is Greg with some news about NSO.
All right, so this will be two different main updates here. The first one being for those that are expansion pass owners or subscribers, I guess I should say. So Mario Party 3 actually just launched at the end of October. So anyone that's looking to relive their Mario Party 3 days can now be playing that online with some of their friends through the N64 app. Other updates that were made include the Game Boy getting the Castlevania Legends that Barry was already playing in his update earlier in the podcast. And then also on the NES, we got the mysterious Matsurume Castle and also Devil World. So all of these games are now available to play for current subscribers of either the NSO or NSO Plus expansion pack.
And speaking of new things, and we talked a little bit about Mario Kart Tour. Well, let's talk about another Nintendo mobile title that's actually alive. Pikmin Bloom is celebrating the second anniversary with a puzzle event, challenges, and the return of Community Week. For those that don't remember, Pikmin Bloom is made by Niantic, who makes Pokemon Go. So they're having a bunch of stuff that starts Friday, November 3rd, as in a couple days ago, and it ends Sunday, November 26th. So that's the puzzle event challenge. And then the special community week is happening on Monday, November 27th. So immediately right after to Sunday, December 3rd. During the community week, there'll be a variety of seasonal flowers that will bloom at different times of the day. So you'll keep your paths ever so colorful.
Nice. And today we get to wake up to some information about a brand new Switch that's coming out pretty soon. It's going to be dropping on, I believe, November 20th, or I think if I'm remembering correctly. And that's going to be a brand new Super Smash Brothers OLED version of the Nintendo Switch. But be careful when you play that game at your local tournaments, especially if they're under 200, 300 people, as we've talked earlier. But it's the Smash Brothers package deal. So not just the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe deal. We've got a Smash Brothers pack in this year for the holiday season. And also we have new Super Mario Party red and blue Joy-Con bundle that's going to be coming out for Black Friday as well. And a bunch of different sales are going to be happening, including Breath of the Wild, we just mentioned 3, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Super Mario Odyssey, and a bunch of other games are going to be on sale for Black Friday. And speaking of Black Friday, a little tease, next episode, we're going to be talking all about our holiday gift guide. So we're going to dive into all of those different details and sales and everything that you should be looking forward to for this holiday season. But know that you got the Switch OLED, Joy-Cons, games on sale. It's going to be a great holiday.
For more other events that are ongoing this month, you can play the Tetris 99 36th Maximus Cup, which will begin on November 9th at 11 p.m. through November 13th. And then pretty much this will be themed around Super Mario RPG that will also be coming out later this month. So anyone interested and still playing Tetris 99 and unlocking more themes and everything, be sure to check out this Maximus Cup that'll be arriving in just a few days here.
And speaking of new additions to ongoing series, Lego Mario stuff has been going on, but we're getting a new entry in the adult Lego Mario stuff, and we're getting the Lego Piranha Plant. So this is available actually right now for $59.99. So you could pick that up, and if you've got the Bowser already, you've got the NES, this would go really nice next to it. Just need more space.
Nice. And while Barry's playing Mario Kart Tour, there is another game, a Nintendo game on mobile, and that's Super Mario Run. And Nintendo decided to release some extra stuff for Super Mario Run in celebration of Super Mario Brothers Wonder with free daily unlocks. So from October 31st through November 30th, you can play paid stage every day for free during this event, even if you haven't purchased Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario Run. And the paid stage, you can play changes each day. So it's a good chance to check out Super Mario Run if you have not checked it out yet. So let's chat about these headlines real quick before we move on to our last segment. Greg, any high level thoughts about all these different stories?
The additions to NSOs actually seem like pretty good ones this time around. I know Mario Party 3, I felt like they announced it almost like a year ago at this point when they were going to be doing all the N64 updates that had like GoldenEye and the first two Mario Party games, but it's great to see that some good games are coming out, and also like the mysterious Matsurume Castle is actually coming out. I think that wasn't previously on localized here, so um, that's great to see that they're still like adding in some of those exclusive games for us in the Americas that haven't played the original games. Um, it's still great that they're doing all the extra events and stuff for like Pikmin Bloom and even like Mario Run. That's great to see more like mobile support, and I know that those are just kind of gateways to the Nintendo universe and the different Nintendo IPs. So it's obviously great to check it out if you don't play those games already, but it's obviously pretty cool to have around if just to help get more exposure, I guess. And then the OLED thing, it feels like it's a little bit too late for a Smash Brothers bundle. They really should have done this a long time ago, but who knows? Maybe it's fare better than the faded Mario Kart 8 bundle that just doesn't go away. That it's been pretty much run around like every single year since the Switch has been out. So that's fun there, and I definitely can already hear Hassan's wallet crying for the Lego Piranha Plant. He was a huge fan of all the different Nintendo themed Lego sets, so I definitely know he'll probably have to end up having to pick up that one. And yeah, that pretty much the main thoughts on all those different headlines.
Cool. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm excited anytime they release more games for NSO. So that's really exciting. Mario Party 3 was one of my favorites. And then Pikmin Bloom, I don't really care about, but the Switch OLED, it looks cool. Like the Mario Party Joy-Con also look cool, but I'm kind of beyond collecting anything or trying to get anything for my existing Switch. Also, I'm beyond Tetris 99. But the Lego Piranha Plant is the thing that mostly excites me, not because of it, but because this is expanding the adult line. And I'm still holding out hope that eventually they're going to be releasing like Peach's Castle and Zelda Castle and things like that we can also build.
Zelda Castle.
Well, Hyrule Castle, but yeah. But yeah, just like those kind of sets are what I'm eventually waiting for, even though my wallet will cry at that point. But that's what I'm looking forward to. And then I own Super Mario Run, so I don't really care about this, but it's kind of cool. Barry, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm always a fan of more games accessible. So great to see Mario Party 3 finally. Like Greg, you mentioned, it's been like a year. So about time. So 1080 snowboarding is one of the games and the last game that was actually announced the same time that still has yet to come out. So maybe this winter, but yeah, come on, 1080 is awesome. Bring it out. Castlevania Legends, like I said, I already played it. I'm glad it's there. For the NES, finally some really good heavy hitters. I always wanted to play Murasame Castle, so finally get to do that when I get the time. It's just been a crazy, crazy year for games. And Devil World, a lot of people forget Devil World is a Shigeru Miyamoto game, and that did not get a release here in the States. So it's great to finally get it. I guess they're like, all right, I guess the religion themes are no longer needed to be worried. We could do it now. So glad that it's finally here and that people can play it. So I'll have to check this out. And it's nice to see F-Zero 99 getting some more stuff as well. But I did read that it's the last update to F-Zero 99, so it's already dead. Like it had like 2 or 3 updates maybe with tracks, and that's it. It's gone. Like
That's
they're
a good
like this is
run.
the final update. Poor F-Zero, always the butt of Nintendo's jokes. Pikmin Bloom, I know some people who actually do play it, so I'm happy for them. I could not get into it. Tetris 99, I play, but I play just for like these Maximus Cups, so I'm going to be playing it this weekend to get the Mario RPG skin because it looks really cool. The music's great. Lego Piranha Plant. If I had the room, I would get it. I just don't have the room, but maybe if I show it to my wife and she's like, "Oh yeah, let's get it," then I'll be like, "Oh cool, I get it in." Super Mario Run, like you mentioned, I already have it. It's a great game. I really enjoyed it. I kind of want them to do the same thing they did with like Bowser's Fury, where they have like Super Mario Brothers Wonder plus Super Mario Run, and get like a console version of Run, just so like people who are like, I don't play mobile games, can at least enjoy it, because it's a short. It should be easy to put in at least the levels, because it is unique. Just do it as like a bonus game. They did it with the Mario and Luigi games with all those little bonus games. Like, just do that. And then as for the Smash Switch OLED, I found it kind of interesting, and I'm wondering if it's because of the Joy Cons. Because I noticed on their website, and this happened months ago, they had refurbished versions of the Smash Joy Cons for like $40 for the pair. So I got a set. And they're still in the bag, but I was like, it's Smash Joy Cons. You can only get them by buying the Smash system when it came out. So I'm like, oh, cool. Have the Smash for $40. Why? And by Nintendo, sure. So I'm wondering if they're just like, hey, you know what? We have extras of these. Like, let's just use them. So I kind of wonder about that. And then they're putting a new Joy-Con with the Mario Party, but and I could be wrong, but from what I understand, the US version, it's the two Joy-Cons and a download code for Super Mario Party, but the Japanese version has the physical in there, and it's just like, really? Come on. Like, Nintendo, you're that game. You could easily put the game in there at this point. Like, stop being cheap. If
Yeah.
you could do it in Japan, you could do it in the States. It's not like you're going to sell a crap ton of them anyways. Super Mario Party is the first Mario Party released, but it's also one of those things where and I had this discussion with a friend, with the Switch 2 coming out, will the Switch 2 use Joy-Cons? And if it does not, then certain games will not be backwards compatible, like Super Mario Party, which is getting a last hurrah here, and other games like WarioWare, Move It, you have to use the Joy-Cons. So it gets this holiday season and will not be able to go to the Switch 2. So maybe Joy-Cons will be a thing of the past with the Switch 2, and that could be why Super Mario Party is getting this treatment instead of Mario Party Superstars. Just to think.
Interesting. Yeah. I forgot about the Super Mario Party being only Joy-Cons, and that's why I stopped playing that game, because that's frustrating. Yeah.
That's why Super Mario Party All Stars or whatever is the better one, with the way they revisit the
Superstars
maps with the first 364 games that are now on NSO.
You know what though? Super Mario Party I actually liked better than Superstars, because it did motion controls right. Like, it wasn't janky, and they had like a lot of good single player modes where it worked really well, and I had more fun with that than Superstars.
The game is fun. Like, I want to play it more. I just hate that they forced me to use Joy-Con. That's it. Like, the game is fun. I really enjoyed it. Like, but when I found that out, it was like, seriously? Like, I have adult hands. Like, this does not work for me to like hold this little thing the whole time and play. Like, it's okay, but I'm not gonna play it like a long time like I have some Mario Party games.
Make adult-sized Joy-Cons.
Yes.
I mean, it was even like with Mario Kart 8 on Wii. I mean, like, they required the Wii remotes, and you couldn't use like the classic controllers and stuff like that either. Like, oh, no extensions, can't even use the nunchuck. Like, you have to use like just the
Yeah, you had to turn it on its side.
What game?
Mario Party
Mario
8.
Party Wii.
Oh yeah, I checked out like after 5 or 6 when it got worse and worse. When they introduced the car, I was like, this is dumb.
That was 9.
8 was the last one before the car. It was like their first attempt at trying to do Mario Party with motion controls, and obviously the Wii remote was like the brunt of it right there. But and then 9, they kind of laid back a little bit on the controls, but then it was the car, and then 10 was like, yeah, everybody loved that car so much, let's keep the car going. Like,
it was dumb. Yeah. Well, let's move on to what we're going to be playing and talking about in a couple weeks. So next episode is going to be recorded live on November 20th, again at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time. And we're going to be going over what games will be coming out the next couple weeks, as always, thanks to Metacritic. We're going to be using their site to scroll those games on our video version of the podcast, going to be which you can find at YouTube. But again, just hit some highlights as you see the game scrolling on the screen. Let's Sing is coming out on November 7th. In fact, several games coming out on November 7th, including Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, which I didn't realize the first one did that great. So apparently they're doing a second one. Also, very, very important, we wanted to let you know that AAA Pro Clock 2023 is also coming out on that November 7th. Really important. Double Dragon Advance as well as Super Double Dragon also coming out on November 9th. Catan, the console edition, on November 9th. As well as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 6 that we talked about earlier on November 9th. Hogwarts Legacy comes out on November 14th. Astral Ascent on November 14th. Turok 3 Shadow of Oblivion on November 14th. As well as The King of Fighters 13 Global Match on November 16th. Power Wash Simulator Back to the Future on November 16th, which I thought was really interesting. Yeah, you're cleaning up Back to the Future scenes. That's exactly what you're doing. Super Mario RPG hits on November 17th. Persona 5 Tactica on November 17th. Bluey, the video game, which is really important for everybody to know because that's coming out on November 17th as well. So, Barry, I know you're going to have to decide whether Persona or Bluey. But also Naruto Cross Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections on November 17th, and The Walking Dead Destinies on November 17th, as well as In Starts and Time on November 20th. So, Greg, anything you're going to be playing over the next couple weeks off this list, or anything else on your backlog?
Actually this week for sure. So I've been really looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy, and I know that's been available on other platforms, and I've been pretty much trying to avoid anything and any like spoilers and anything for a while, because I believe it was like around this time last year that it was actually came out on like Xbox and PlayStation. So I will probably
Actually, I think it
for
was
sure
this year. Hogwarts Legacy was earlier this year. I'm
Earlier
pretty
this
sure.
year?
maybe like the original time frame was this time last year, but yeah, I do know it's been out on other systems for what feels like forever, but I've been pretty much staying away from any and all thing information from it because I wanted to experience it just the way it was intended on Switch, at least for me, was intended for me. But for sure that one, and then even Mario RPG is going to be right up there too because I'd never even played the original on Super Nintendo. So easily those two are going to be two pickups, and we'll be battling for time over at least right before the next podcast anyways. Like up until then, I'll just be working on some items in the backlog, like finishing up like the Might and Magic Clash of Heroes, and might see if I can fit another smaller title in before those two ones drop down on me.
Nice. How about you, Barry?
Yeah, I'll be finishing up Star Ocean, and once I do that, the Tales of Arise DLC comes out, which was a surprise that it was even a thing. So I'm like, all right, and that's on the Switch, but I'm looking forward to that because I really like the Arise cast, and we haven't seen a new Tales of game in a couple of years, so really excited about it. Then of course Mario RPG is coming, as well as Persona 5 Tactica, so I'm definitely doing Mario RPG first. Loved it on the Super Nintendo. It's been decades since I played it, so I'm interested to see how they change things up, and I probably will try Persona 5 Tactica after. I'm not a big Tactics fan or the SRPG fan, but I really like the Persona 5 universe and the Persona 5 characters, so I might at least give it a shot. I'll see how I like it. And Catan, I love Catan. Catan is just one of those, like, I can get hooked and just play endlessly. So, I might have to go for that one too.
Nice. None of you are getting pro clock, huh?
If it got a physical, I would, but with digital only, no.
Yeah, I'm still intrigued. I'm a big fan of the brawlers like Double Dragon and stuff like that. So I'm interested. I'm going to see how they turn out and everything. So I'm not going to be jumping on it right away. But those games always interest me. And
There is a physical collection coming, with those two
yeah,
games and the first 4 games all together.
yeah, I did remember seeing that. So maybe I'll hold off on, if I do get it, maybe I'll get the collection instead. But yeah, I'm at the point right now where I don't think I'm gonna get Super Mario RPG because I have the original, and I'm with Greg. Actually, I had never played it as well, but now that I own, I think 2 different versions. I think on my 3DS and now my Switch as well. Like I can play the original one, and I know it. Like a lot of people like still play that game and love it, and I think it holds up in a lot of ways. And so I don't feel like I have a desire to go and spend 50, $60 on a brand new version of a game that I already own the original one that I haven't played yet. So I think that's where I'm kind of landing with that, even though I know it's going to be enhanced and all that stuff too. I can play the original one instead.
It's the quality of life stuff for me. Like Star Ocean, I have the PlayStation version I could play, for example, and I have the PSP version that I could play. But the new remake, they added a lot of new stuff that's only in this that to make add to the quality of life. And I know they did that with Mario
Sure.
RPG as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really excited for.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have it on Wii U, or I don't think I got it on 3DS because I got it on Wii U, but I certainly don't want to have to fire that system on just to play that game. And
You gotta turn it on every once in a while, make sure nothing's deleted.
Yeah.
I know I do have to make sure to try to do that though. But I would just take the enhancements too. I mean, even though like they did the same thing with like the Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, I mean, I thought what they added there was still really awesome. The way they improved all the graphical style and everything else they added in. So if it makes it more playable today, that makes it still a better experience overall. But
That's
it's just
true.
kind of like how they been doing it with like Wind Waker and also like Twilight Princess. They removed some of all that really slow drog stuff from the original versions and made it more fun to play in like today's day and age. So
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You talk about Link's Awakening. I know it's one of Steve's biggest things is every time you touch a rock, it gives you that message, and it doesn't do that in the Switch version.
I know. The Switch version's so much better. Like it went from being like my least favorite Zelda game to being, I wouldn't say top, but it's definitely way up the list because of the Switch version. So, yeah.
So, I mean, there were definitely some challenges in the SNES version that I'm interested to see. And what's weird is that Culex is back, and we still don't know who developed this game. Did Nintendo do it? Did Square do it? Is Nintendo publishing? Is Square publishing? I know Square's on the copyright, but is this one of those cases like Cruisin' where like the copyright's there, but does someone else take care of it?
This is what Retro's been doing.
Maybe because the whole point of Culex, and that kind of, I guess it's a spoiler of a game from ages ago, but Culex was a hidden bonus boss. It was completely optional, and it was a spoof on Final Fantasy. It was a Final Fantasy style boss, and it was just spoofing Final Fantasy. And I was like, that was there, and the Square put that in there because it was like, oh, well, Final Fantasy is our game. So Culex is back in this, which is really interesting. Like that, I could see be cutting out or put another reference to another Nintendo IP, but no, it's pretty faithful.
That's cool. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna. Yeah, I'm definitely be continuing and Tears of the Kingdom as well, and I am gonna be getting Catan as well. So Barry, maybe we can play online. Be fun.
Oh man,
Such
a good game.
Some Catan time. But yeah, I think yeah, I'm gonna be traveling a little bit more again over the next couple weeks. So we'll see what gaming looks like. I have not been playing much at all. Like the way my flights and everything have been lining out, and I've just been like sleeping or maybe trying to listen to some music or whatever, but that's about it. Like I have not felt like playing too many games on the go, except for Pokemon Go. That's like why, that's one of the big reasons why I've been playing Pokemon Go a lot more recently, is because I've been traveling and I can easily just pull it out, catch a couple Pokemon, move on. But I've not had a desire to like pull out my Switch and play a game either in the airport or in the plane or anything like that. But we'll see how it all lines out for the next podcast. Greg, anything else going on in your life for next episode?
No, probably not really a whole lot. I mean, I know like the holidays are coming up and everything, so a lot of it will be just making sure to get like all that kind of stuff all set up, like at least the holiday decorations and stuff up for right around the Thanksgiving time frame, and I guess just already start looking out for any gifts for like the holiday season as well too,
Mm,
whether it's for myself or for my fiance or even like my daughter and stuff. So I'll just
cool.
be on the lookout, monitoring deals and all that kind of stuff too as we discuss that more next time.
Yeah, there's some good deals out there, and yeah, and maybe next episode I'll have my tree right about here. We'll see if I pull it out a little early. Normally, I'm not a decorate before Thanksgiving person, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Since we're doing our holiday, gift guide next episode, maybe it makes sense to start decorating early. Barry, anything on in your life for the next couple weeks?
Yeah, it's always crazy now, especially with the kiddo.
Got an infant rule in your world.
Infant ruling my world, and yeah, he's awesome. He's great, except when he gets tired and he cries, and he does not like to go to sleep, except at night. Nighttime he's fantastic. Naps, he hates them, and he loses the battle every time, and he still cries. No, been have some I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. Yay, cleaning.
Yay.
But no, spending time with family and friends have been, coming over a lot, and just enjoying time with the little one, and a lot of going ons and premium that have some exciting meetings that I can't wait to eventually talk about, of course. And
Cool.
we're really hyped right now. A lot of people we're upset they didn't get a chance to get Wife Quest and Super Dungeon Maker because we took them down before Series 7 went up, and even though they had 6 months to do it, they still complained and they sent emails and messages. So we put it back up today for the next 2 days. We just put it as a 3-day thing, just to here it is, one last hurrah. And we're seeing a huge reception to that, which is great. And of course, just advertising and pushing the other 3 games that are part of Series 7 because those developers are all awesome, and we want people to try these games because they're really good. So just working, a lot of work, premium, and getting ready for Black Friday and the holidays, and you know, thankfully my Christmas shopping is done this year, which is the first time shopping for a child, which is
Yeah.
that's my own. So it's definitely going to be surreal. But first Halloween was fantastic.
Yeah.
So we got to do that. We got to dress up.
That's
I
cool. Yeah, you guys
don't
had
usually.
family costume. I saw.
Yeah, we had a family costume, so we had
Nice.
a blast with that. And first Thanksgiving is coming up. Now it's all the firsts, so
Mm.
it's Greg will tell you, he knows what it's like. It's like all the firsts. It's all it changes everything.
I have
Can't believe
heard.
your
Yeah.
shopping's already done and the Smash OLED Switch is not even out yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard the
Maybe need to
yeah.
prefer Switch.
he's
Yeah.
getting a Switch, just not that one. He's gonna be a little older, before he gets a Switch.
His hands are like this big, and they're like gripping the
He's
Switch.
he's got a good grip, but the Joy Cons are still a little big for him.
Too small for me, too big for him. Come on, Nintendo, we got to do something.
Exactly. Infant Joy Cons, make it happen.
uh, that's the thing. Like the Wii remote was like surprisingly very comfortable. So like I'm surprised like they made the Joy-Con so much smaller.
I think it had to be to fit on the screen. It just that how they did it. It just had to work that way. But I do know they have a not that he's going to be actually playing any video games anytime soon. But they have those like little mini. I forget the company that makes them. That they make a bunch of different controllers, but they have little bitty ones that
Oh
are I
yeah.
don't know like 3 inches big. I don't know, and like so that may be his size. So
Yeah, talk about the Joy-Cons comfortability. Uh, it's still funny that I think about this. On Switchmas, when Switch launched back, 6.5 years ago, whatever it was now, uh, I bought a third-party accessory that was a little rubber holder for the Switch Joy-Cons to make them more comfortable. because all the advertisements showed you were going to use it. So I got it came with 2-pack. I'm like, I got this for using that. They're still in the box. I got them on launch day. They're still
Nice. So we won't be recommending that on the next episode.
No, it's just funny. I'm sure other people used them, and I'm sure they work great. It's just I never used the Joy-Cons like that because I'm like, these are terribly uncomfortable.
Have you guys ever used the little rubber things you put on top of the analog sticks? Like when I'm looking for this inside baseball here, like when I'm looking for images to use for our thumbnails and stuff like that, I'll scour the internet for free stock images and stuff. And almost all of the people that put stock images of a Switch on those sites, they all have the little rubber things on top of their analog sticks. And I've never done that. Like it
My
seems
wife
weird to
does.
me. Okay.
Because she loves the EV, so she has little EV ones that she puts on top.
Okay.
And she
But it's
likes
more
them,
for
but
decoration, or is she
it's
actually,
more
does it
for
help her?
decoration.
Yeah.
It doesn't help. I mean, maybe it does, but she's fine either way. But she does it for the look, the aesthetic.
Okay.
But I've never needed it or wanted it.
Yeah,
I
I've
have some
never.
Smash Brothers ones. I think GameStop did like a promo. If you pre-ordered it, you got them from GameStop, but I never used them.
What were you gonna say, Greg?
I was gonna say I've never used those or had any desire to pick them up, even though my little pup already like kind of gnawed a little bit on one of my Pro Controller joysticks. But it's like it's the right stick, so it's like not horribly misshapen, and it's still functional and doesn't like hurt or chipped or anything. But definitely a few little bite marks on the one controller. But I don't think there's really a major need to like get them. I mean, just gotta be more careful and not leave that out for her to want to chew on.
Yeah. Well, this is bringing us to the end of this episode, but yeah, we're going to be back on November 20th with our next episode. And if you guys are still listening here at the tail end of this episode, our Game of the Year episode is going to be coming up really, really soon. Potentially on the December 4th episode, where we need to talk offline and make sure we, as we line up for the end of the year and take our break for the holiday season and everything. But most likely, maybe on December 4th. If it's not going to be, it'll be the episode right after that. But yeah, get your picks. We'd love to let you guys, have your say as we always do during our live shows. But we love hearing what you guys think is your game of the year as well. So if you haven't started thinking through 2023 and like what the best games you've played this year, or sometimes the worst games you've played this year, that's always fun to have that conversation as well. That's going to be coming up in maybe about a month or so in like 2 episodes from now. But yeah, it's kind of exciting stuff. Going to have the holiday gift guide and some other news next episode, and potentially our Game of the Year episode after that. Jeff Keighley's Game Awards is coming up pretty soon as well, at the beginning of December too. So pretty exciting season of sales and discounts and all these different things coming up, and we're going to be chatting about it on November 20th. So hope to see you guys there. But until then, happy game, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you next time.